Fine. Hi. Kara. Hello. I'm sorry. I'm here. Hi. You know, I actually think it was even before the Hidden Cup. I co-casted in Two Boys One Cup. Yeah, in the original. But don't watch the episode that I did. Yeah. Indeed they are. You know, they've been through a lot together. But really, they've been against each other every single time. No, never. It's Hane, right? That's what I'm looking for. It might not be on yet. That's okay. Hi. Harry's making dinner. When I open YouTube, it says the live event will begin in a few moments. Fine.
Hello.
Hello.
Guys. No, not yet, but we've got these, the server ready, lobby ready. Cool. Oh, hello.
Hi.
It's good to know. I just looked at the live stream. It doesn't seem to.
Yeah,
I can't see you guys live.
Michael.
Yeah.
You know, I actually think it was even before the Hidden Cup. I co-casted in Two Boys One Cup. Yeah, in the original. But don't watch the episode that I did.
Mine's muted.
It's not the link you send in the chat. Do you want to update those links? Yeah. Oh god, this is so professional.
Oh yes, I see it now. It's a new link.
It's not the link you send in the chat. Do you want to update those links? Oh, there we are. We are indeed live.
Okay, yep. I'll go there now. Alright.
Goodbye, Jimmy. Good luck. Ah, wonderful. So we don't have to do any more introductions or banter. Indeed, I am. I'm just waiting for it to pop up. Yeah. Darren, look at us go. And I'm just spectating, yeah? Wonderful. Here we go. How exciting. Ah. Right, are you in? I'm in. Very good. I think it's very interesting. Hopefully it should give these teams a little bit of advantage, you know? Also, we're already starting at Guildhall Age, right? So... Ah, yes. There we go. Yep. Yeah. So she's also she's keeping the villagers safe, but she's also watching the economy at the moment. Just making sure it's still ticking. Yeah, Hane is very highly successful in these games. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think it will matter if we go to late game, maybe. But maybe not so much in early game. To be quite frank with you, I don't know a huge amount about the Sims. Oh, Michael, the chat is suggesting that they can't hear you. So really, they just have to sit here and they have to listen to my shitty commentary.
Oh my god, I just realized I was on mute this entire time.
Oh no!
How funny. This is why you don't do it live, folks. But it's alright, we're back now. Yeah, it's been Evie the entire time. I'm glad someone can see the chat too, because for some reason it's not coming up on my screen. Alright, so we're back into it. We're talking about Tartars and Vietnamese. We're talking about these walls up going up on the north side of Sexpanther and Fluffy Dudette's base. A lot of pressure coming in. Scouts and archers, a really strong combination from Hone and Parthian. And nothing going on back at their base. No counterattacks from that lovely ford that we saw at the top. So I'm wondering what...
they're really just trying to, you know, they're playing catch-up at the moment. And then with that archery range drop right there, it's quite good production from Hone and Parthian.
It really is, isn't it? And they're just constantly keeping archers coming out of that stable. Whereas I'm looking at the production buildings of Sexpanther and Fluffy Dudette, the ones that are constructed, of course, and not a lot, but finally we do see some archers maybe coming forward, met instantly by defensive skirmishes. That's not going to last very long, is it?
But, you know, at this point maybe it's still about the pressure, just keeping them distracted.
Yeah, that's true. It's good to get the attention somewhere else.
Oh, I see a group of villagers under attack.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh, no.
Just switching over there now. Sexpanther and Fluffy Dudette definitely caught out in the open there, trying to get this wall up, but to what end? Maybe you should just get those villagers out of there. There's too many...
Trap the vills in there.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Goodness.
These are upgraded archers as well. You'll notice that Hone and Parthian have gone for the fletching upgrade, which costs 100 food and 50 gold, which is quite expensive at this early stage of the game. But it's definitely paying dividends. They're losing a lot of vills, Sexpanther and Fluffy Dudette, because of that upgrade right now.
Yes, yeah. Sitting at, 44. They lost about 10 vills in that.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to already look like quite a one-sided game, as Hone and Parthian just absolutely relentless in this early stage. Really laying on the pressure thick, and also getting quite walled up at home, you know? It's not easy anymore for Sexpanther or Fluffy Dudette's archers to get into that economy and raid that base past that giant house wall.
No. I mean, at the moment, they're really just trying to deal with these archers that are already in their base.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of spearmen, and they're just kind of hanging around the walls that are trying to be built up in the bottom right. Of course, they can't...
You've got to deal with those archers already there.
Exactly, and you can't really engage with the archers using these spearmen either.
No, it's not been very effective. Now all of your villages are exposed.
Making skirmishes, though, from this one archery range, and honestly, that is the right move. 2 or 3 of those at once, and all of these archers are definitely going to lose their numbers and not have any kind of effect. Saying that, though, Hone and Parthian just hit Castle Age with a shockingly fast Castle Age time. That's what...
For a fast castle.
Oh, it's not even a... Well, yeah, exactly, right? And when you start off with this much economy, it makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see where they're going to drop a castle.
Yeah, well, I don't see any villages on stone from Hone and Parthian yet. I do see a second TC, though, coming up from Hone. So they're definitely being very cautious, making sure their eco is miles ahead. Even with the excessive amounts of damage they're doing, they're taking no chances here. They're not going to be caught off behind in this game, I don't think.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just looking at these archers, obviously being controlled by Parthian or Hone, just kind of ignoring the skirmishes, trying to keep the hill, trying to run around and kill villagers, little ones running off at once, you know, trying to micro. It's really nice to see. But it looks like they might finally get cleaned up by a mixture of spears and skirmishes at the same time.
A long and lengthy battle, probably longer than it needed to be.
Yes, I think we'd like to see a lot more skirmishes on the field for Sexpanther and Fluffy Dudette, but of course that might be what Hone and Parthian want. They're in Castle Age now, and they're probably thinking of making a switch to... We're seeing Cavalry Archer and those forward archery ranges, and also Knights running across the top of the map right now towards their base, and that's going to be really hard for skirmishes to deal with.
Oh, here they come.
Yeah, here they come. 2 villages.
Now Hone and they've got 5 onward. Oh, did they just drop a castle?
No, that's another town centre coming up in the...
Another town centre?
Yeah, on the wood line. I quite like that town centre too. It just means anyone trying to go past, they're going to get hit by a couple of arrows and villagers. Just a little bit of HP coming off. Quite nice.
It is nice to hear people have heeded your woodline warnings.
Apart from... Yeah, it is a lot better this game. I've noticed that as well, actually. To be fair, 2 of these lumber camps are placed by the AI when you start the game. They're part of your included house. You can see these...
Where credit is not due.
Yeah. You can see these cavalry archers and knights doing work. A lot of these skirmishes are being well used though, mainly because those knights just aren't engaging, but as soon as 1 or 2 gets in there, it's going to change. And there's already probably too many cavalry archers there as well.
Got to keep those skirmishes moving, you know.
Yeah, you really do, especially when you have 2 people. So for the viewers, you probably should have started off. They're both controlling one civilization, Sexpanther and Fluffy Dudette. So one person can control the skirmisher and move it around, and other people can be controlling the villagers and keeping them all working. So it splits your attention. It's really, really powerful. And that's why you're seeing such good micro of the armies this game, is because one person's probably just dealing with the villagers and one person's probably dealing with the army. It's not looking good for Sexpanther.
No, but I do notice that Sexpanther and Irene have moved some villagers.
Yeah, they're going up to the top left, aren't they? They're trying to do a little bit of an escape.
Trying to do an escape, but they've picked an interesting place to do it. You know, close to home. Not really on a hill, not close to any like particularly large wood lines or stone or grass.
Well, that's another big factor about this map, right? Is the only real wood is in the centre. And that can be quite prohibitive late game when you're really just desperate to have a really solid, secure wood line that you're not changing every 5 minutes. With these little ones, they run out so fast. But it doesn't look like they'll be having access to that large wood line for a long, long time, if ever, in this game.
It looks as though they've all but abandoned their original.
Yes.
And they're still in feudal as well. They've not clicked up.
That's another real big problem, right? We have 3 town centres for the other for Hone and Parthian's team, and a lot of these town centres are very busy, creating villages constantly, and we're only going to see that villager lead 76 to 30 right now. It's only going to get wider and wider as Sexpanther and Fluffy Dudette lose villagers. Whereas the other guys, they're just making...
There's a house.
What's that, sorry?
There's a house. Hone's team is house.
Oh, they're house. Well, that's it. Game over. If I was them, I'd just resign right now. They've been found at the top, unfortunately. There's a whole bunch of cavalry archers coming in and doing a bit of a massacre on that golden wood line. And the mill that's going up might not even go up. That might be what we call a doubt mill. Oh, no, it does go up. It's alright. No one's going to be able to farming there for a long time. And with that, at, what, 19, 17, 16, the villagers are dropping like flies. And I'm not even sure where the last villagers are. They're down here on this...
Still further up, so hit a little bit up, and the game is done. GG.
Wow, so that was very quick. And that's kind of what we were expecting from an Empire Wars game. Sometimes when someone gets so much early pressure so early. That was very quick, very fast. And we can see some differences in the effective actions per minute. A lot faster on the Hone and Parthian side. 83 on average versus the 58 of Sexpanther and Fluffy Dudette. I'm kind of impressed that Capture Age obviously is merging these two together. A lot more floating resources for Sexpanther and Fluffy Dudette. They just couldn't use the resources fast enough by the looks of it. Anything
too much pressure consistently, you know? So they had these resources but had no time or space to do anything really with them.
So true, right? I feel like Hone and Parthian just came in like a hammer at the start of the game. They were right in there with the scouts, right in there with the archers.
Yeah, it was that early archery range, you know, right at the door.
Very easy to reinforce from, and definitely outproduce their opponents from that. There's the APM there. Wow, very quick game, maybe even quicker than I was expecting. I mean, we had a slight favour towards Hone and Parthian's Huddle coming into this game, obviously, as we've seen the previous games of the tournament. But that was one heckin' strong performance.
They're still in Discord.
What's that, sorry?
I think they're still in Discord. Shall we go?
Yeah, shall we go talk to the winners? Let's do a real quick interview. Winners? Yeah, let's do winners first, yeah. Hello. Hello,
Hello.
Hello, Victors. How's that going?
Hello.
We just finished watching your brutal performance. How do you guys feel?
We feel a bit bad about that.
How do you guys feel making it into the finals?
Good.
I mean, it's good, of course, but
It's good, of course.
Who are your teammates?
Yeah, and your teammates are going to be the people you just crushed, which is good as well. How did you get so much pressure so fast? Just talk us through that, maybe. What was your plan from the get-go?
so first of all, we split the roles. So I was taking care of the economy, and Michael Brown would take care of the military. So that meant that obviously he could micro those archers a lot more, and pretty much it was a strong combo.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Strong
Those
combo of a
archers.
scout and an archer.
Yeah, Scout Archer is a really good combo. And you really forced your opponent into skirms. And I noticed you went fast castle and into knights pretty fast. And that was obviously to make sure that skirms weren't going to be an issue as well. So pretty good thinking from you guys. And I think it really shows with the results. I'm looking at the KD here, 81-16.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little bit mean.
Yeah, pretty bad. All right, well, with that, we might either take a break. I don't know how long it's going to take to set up the next game, so we might take a break from the stream.
Harry's just going to eat dinner, so it might be a minute. Shall we greet the poor losers as well?
Oh, yeah, we should probably go say hello. Hey, congratulations, Hone and Parthian.
good work.
Very good show, very dominating, and I look forward to seeing you in the next match.
Cool, thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Oh,
Hello, how are you guys feeling after that? That was
Great.
great.
it was a lot.
Walk us through it. What happened?
There
Too
was
much,
just
too
too much.
fast.
Yeah.
They were just in
yeah.
there so quickly, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, because we sent those villagers forward to try establish like a base at the start, but then it's like why we chose Vietnamese so that we could see where they were at the start, so we could just go straight there. But then I guess just making light camp was the way to go. Like
Yeah.
they did.
I really did think you're going to do more of that forward. I was quite surprised, but maybe it was too forward, perhaps?
No, I think after that first wave of archers that we made, we just didn't have enough resources to balance defense and attack with them as well.
Yeah. And those archers coming into your economy, we noticed that was particularly tricky for you guys to deal with.
Yeah, it was super hard.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
Nice.
Nice. There was a couple of moments where we're struggling to move villagers. Like I really would move them away and I'd try and fight with them. So I think there's some kinks to be worked out.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, you're going to join the huddle of the winners, Hone and Parthian. Are you looking forward to the finals?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm much happy that we're on Jamie's side rather than Jonk's.
Yeah, true.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it is known Hone is a favoured to win, but we'll find out how true that becomes in the finals. I was going to thank you guys so much for giving it your all here. That did look like a very tough and frustrating game, and over very quickly.
Yeah, super
Yeah.
quick. Oof.
Too quick.
I just wanted to reach Castle Age, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, no,
They
ouch.
were just, they were just so in your economy. It was hard. I really thought you were going to get away with those two little bases up at the top of the map.
Yeah, no, I think
They
that
just
idea was
found
probably
you
too
so
late.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, very quick, very sudden. Well, thank you very much. Congratulations on
Alright,
joining
thanks.
that huddle, and I look forward to seeing you both in the finals.
Cool.
All right. Okay, everybody. Well, that was the first game over. We're going to do another game shortly, but first we're going to take a short break. So we might put the stream on to watching, I don't know, something fun, or just stop it. I don't know. What do you think, Evie?
I think we could stop it or do like an intermission. Put up just an intermission screen.
Intermission. I could do an intermission screen actually. I got a cool thing just to watch, just to keep people entertained. So we'll put that on.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. Easy. Other than that, I will try to mute. And we'll see you all shortly. I don't know how long it's going to take. I'll have to do an update in the chat or something. All right.
Right. We'll see you shortly.
We'll see you shortly.
Bereit?
Oh, hi. I was just checking on everyone else in their little Discord chats, making sure everyone's sorted, knows what's going on. Yeah, just to be annoying, you know? Right. Oh, it's Jonk apostrophe. No, it's not started yet. When I spectate, am I spectating with CA or am I just spectating? Okay. Oh, right. Yes, yes, absolutely. That was 45 seconds ago. The game's been over for 2 minutes. Michael, are you still muted? Just take a check.
Yeah, I'm definitely still muted. Okay, I'm back now.
Thank you, Laurel.
Thanks. That's our technician in the back there. They're just making sure that everything's connected, and it wasn't. So it's good to have people checking. It's really onto it.
As much fun as it is just listening to me.
I mean, you know,
I am very good.
it's like when you have someone in the room and they're like on a phone call or a conversation, and so you can only hear half the conversation, and it's, you know, terrible.
Dave said it was an interesting monologue.
Ah, good.
Thank you, David.
And for some reason, the chat isn't showing up on my screen when I'm trying. Like, it shows up on the live cast in YouTube, but I can't see it on the screen, which is slightly annoying. But I suppose that doesn't really matter. Still can't see this game.
Still waiting for the game. Sorry for the delay.
Yeah. So what are we thinking here? So here, I don't think the I'm expecting maybe a slightly longer game, although it is pretty hard to tell with these settings.
Yeah, I am also expecting a slightly longer game because I think the footing is maybe a little bit more even between these two teams. But part of that is because most of them have actually just watched the first game, so they know maybe what they should be more aware of, what they should spend more time working on. So let's just hope they have the strategy ready. We'll never know. It's unpredictable. Anything can happen.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've seen them doing lots of practice, like in the last couple of days. So I think they have been thinking of ideas, and I think you're right. I think it's a little bit closer. So I'm just getting messages from Hone at the moment, who's trying to help me organize as well. Is it private? Jonk hosted the game, but I don't know if he did the right settings, and it might have to be a real quick restart.
No, they've not started the game yet. They're still sitting in the lobby.
Okay.
So once they've started the game,
then they can go. Yeah. Okay, that's good. I just told them to start as soon as they're ready. Very good. Hopefully we will see it shortly. All right, Empire Wars. What civs are they going to pick? So we saw Vietnamese and the Tatars last time. Tatars being very strong. It's hidden pick, so they can pick anything they really want. But obviously a preference for things that have early aggression and feudal age, because it really hits off very fast.
If they want to be very fast, maybe some civs that have some resource-related bonuses.
Yeah, that's very true. Vikings comes to mind with free wheelbarrow upgrade, so all their villages are instantly faster, which obviously really helps with those raids early game. They can get away a little bit faster, but also carrying more, so it's a lot more efficient. Maybe
Teutons. Teutons have cheap farms.
Very true. That'll be really easy on the wood economy early on.
Yes.
Make it a lot easier.
Especially if you're going for maybe siege.
Yeah, especially if you got pressured heavily, you need to make your own defensive skirms. That could work quite well. Still waiting for this game to show up. I hope it has an apostrophe. Maybe it doesn't. This
is fantastic streaming. Everyone.
This is why you just never what's it called? You never go live.
Not high level quality content.
I found it. Okay, I'm gonna go on with CA. I'll see you in there.
Yeah, number 2. All right, let's go.
Finally, there we go. We are getting in there, ladies and gentlemen. And
speak of the devil.
Just loading into Capture Age now. No doubt you get there a little bit earlier than me if you're not using Capture Age.
There I am in now, just having a good view, looking at Jonk space to start with.
And what colour is he? We have just arrived.
A beautiful blue.
A beautiful blue. Just going to speed it up, make sure we get into the live moment, and that was very quick. They're starting with an archery range, and they have picked the Huns. So Huns do not need houses, even though they started with about 5. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I guess that frees up some villages, to work on resources. If they've got one person looking after eco, being housed is a really annoying thing if you don't look out for it.
It is so annoying. It can really, really slow you down. On top of that, every house is 30 wood or something, or 40 wood, and that's maybe 2 archers or a skirmisher or something like that. And I see they're starting.
It's embarrassing. You don't want to be the guy that got housed.
Yeah, exactly, and we see it too. We would know. And the cool thing is, straight to 400 population space, so that's really nice to see. Looking over at the other side, as you predicted, Teutons, cheaper farms, and I think that's going to come into play here as my girlfriend does science, which is actually Jack Harlow. He's changing it every game. That's going to be great for the viewers to keep track of who he is. And David Reed 002. Working together here. I wonder what their strategy is. We can see some early walls coming up on the bottom side. No second military building to start making archers or anything like that. We're just staying with the barracks for now.
No, so we've got some good early wall coming up though.
Really nice early wall. And will this villager, yeah, looks like he's going to get those 2 houses, or at least one of the houses, and can be switched to the other house down in time for these skirmishers to have to take the long way round. I can see Jonk and QuarkWarble, it is still so difficult to say, going for the long route, taking skirmishers. Now this is really interesting because they don't actually have fletching, and skirmishers only have 2 attack, and you start with loom in this game mode. So villagers have 40 health, skirmishers have 2 attack, and they have some armor, so every spear does 1 damage, and these villagers are barely going to be tickled by these spears, as you'll see them go for the first volley. Oh wow, so much damage.
It's fine, that lumber camp was far away from the tree line anyway, it was time to let it go.
Yeah, fair enough. And although this may be considered a bit of an overreaction with 6 villagers now idle, more idle villagers around the sheep, just for a couple of skirms. You could almost get the villagers and beat those skirms down. They do have a minimum range.
They are very idle, so whoever's watching the economy might want to do something. There's how many villagers are sitting there? There's 5 idols just sitting in front of the TC.
Whenever you see idols and there's 2 people controlling one civ, you do have to wonder, what are they doing with their spare time?
I think there's, you know, maybe this aggression is even earlier than they thought it was going to be. So now they're kind of maybe pulling it back. You can see maybe Jonk's team is starting to pull ahead, but only just.
Yeah, only just.
If they want to keep it that way, then they need to send something over there now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Jonk's team, if you look, they haven't walled everything yet.
Yeah, they're still walling. I suppose they're feeling maybe a bit confident the fact that they had sent over military first, and they thought, oh, maybe we can get our walls up with a bit of leeway. Just seeing now, they're trying to complement their skirmishers as spearmen. This is not a very aggressive force. All of these units have very low damage. They're counter units, you know? They're only good against archers or good against scouts. And so I don't see a lot of damage, and I feel like this is just a lot of wasted resources.
Yeah, I think at the moment this is just really being annoying.
Yeah.
I also see that in Jack Harlow's base, we've got, you know, just 6. We've got 6 spearmen just sitting there.
Yeah,
waiting
for something to do.
Right? So why not send them out and push those aggressive units away?
Absolutely, yeah. I think maybe so the enemy is Huns, and they will have this in the back of their mind, I suppose. And I'm thinking maybe they were expecting scouts. We saw scouts and how effective they were last game. No doubt, Jack Harlow and Jonk and QuarkWarble were watching the stream, and they thought maybe Jonk and QuarkWarble, you know, do a similar thing and go heavy scouts, but so hence the preparation of spears. So we get a little bit of kerfuffle on the hill at the top here.
Yes. This is good. This is, you know, retaliation. Kind of force them back a little bit.
Yeah, I really like the use of the scout.
Take the hill.
Yeah.
Oh, keep them on. Nope.
Taking that hill. So for those who don't know, if you're on a hill, it's 25% more damage shooting down and 25% less damage shooting up. And that also applies to military units as well. So being on a hill is actually a huge advantage in Age of Empires 2. Where are they going to take this army next? Meanwhile, walls still coming up on the Jonk and QuarkWarble side. Nice and slow. I don't think they're in any rush. However, that is a very fast castle age by Jack Harlow.
Castle.
Yeah, nice timing.
I know that means cavalry's on the way.
Yeah, and they have already made 2 stables. You can see knights already coming up out of that. And yes, these are spearmen, but these are feudal age spearmen, and they are going to have a lot of trouble trying to go toe-to-toe with armoured heavy cavalry, which is coming out of these stables right now. The tank of the Middle Ages. This is going to make a big difference. You barely need to run these villagers away.
Yeah, they're getting caught in the middle of it. Oh, because they're doing something.
There we go. A little bit of villager brawl going on. This is really good to see. Like I said, those skirmishers, they have fletching now, but it's still not a lot of damage, and they won't be able to kill a villager, to be honest. So it's really good to see those villagers take that fight. And you can see the blue army's just completely cleaned up. Now's the time to use your early castle age and try to get these knights into the economy of your enemy.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially now because the economy's fallen behind and my girlfriend does science, you know, they've just been sitting in the town centre. When they're not idle anymore, but we're still only sitting on 35 villages.
Yeah, we definitely have a little bit of a villager swing towards Jonk and QuarkWarble, and in saying that, they've opted to do not a lot more military. I see a couple of cavalry archers coming out now, but we really don't have the numbers for them to be effective. But we do see a lot of resources being put into 2 town centres. I think we're about to see a boom. And flaring on the minimap on both sides, talking to each other too. We're seeing some teamwork here.
Yeah. So what have they done with those units? Right, let's hope they move those cavalry units.
It would be nice for them to use them, right? At the moment, it just looks like they're playing tag with these ibex, which is a fun little mini game, I suppose. But it would be nice to go and do something with these. The enemy is currently undefended, especially from knights. In fact, if they had been going over there from the start of Castle Age, you know, like as soon as they cleaned up their army, they would be denying one of those town centres right now, especially that lower one by the gold, and that's just a missed opportunity. Or denying the wall off in the bottom right, one of the two.
I want to have a look and see how much they've scouted as well, because it doesn't actually look like Jack Harlow's team scouted a huge amount.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking at Jonk and QuarkWarble first, because they're the ones I clicked on initially, and they've just got what looks like a giant phallic kind of shape that is mainly their base and just goes over to the enemy base in a little head group at the top. But looking at the other people, I don't actually know how to switch. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they haven't scouted at all. They don't even really know where the enemies are. And maybe that's part of why they haven't sent these knights out, you know? That's really in their head, the unknown, you know? The unknown is scary. And now they've just waited too long. There's enough cav archers. They're coming down the south side, and they're going to be hungry for Vilpix.
Luckily, they have walled off, right? So that helps, but, you know, they're only palisade walls.
Yep, they're only palisade walls. These guys will be able to get through, but...
They've not walled off. There's a gap.
Yeah, there's a small gap. Unfortunately, they have walled up. Oh, no, they're going to get through that little wood line, aren't they?
Yeah,
but
they are.
The knights are here in defense. Hopefully, husbandry has already been researched. I noticed they have bloodlines, so they have a lot more HP, much more than these cavalry archers. And these knights can clear up these cavalry archers just so long as the cavalry archers don't run away and shoot, run away and shoot, run away and shoot. Looks like we're not brave enough to chase at this stage. We're still thinking about making more knights, although none are really coming up, despite having the resources for it. More walls on the north side.
They really need to be looking at that economy as well. They've got to get into Jonk's economy before it gets away from them, especially because they don't know where these last two town centres have come up.
Yeah, that's so true. They don't even know that the enemies...
Not that it's a poor effort in defending their own base. You know, they've done quite well, you know, protecting their own, but, you know, that's not what the game's about. You've got to get in there. Yeah,
100%. And they have done well in protecting themselves, but they need to keep that production up, like you say, and especially it's time to do damage to the opponent. And if you just leave this, these Huns to just boom on 3 TCs like this, it's going to be a tough game for them to catch up. We're already seeing 66 villages versus 45, so already going to be a little bit tough.
And maybe I've missed it, but I don't think that these Teutons have even dropped another town centre yet, have
well, they've got one to the right, but they haven't gone for 2. So you can see they've dropped a town centre by the stone next to the main woodline.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a couple of farms around there, and that's quite good, but they definitely need to invest in their second one, and they need to do it very soon if they want to keep up with the villager production. On the plus side, both town centres very busy, making villages constantly, but I'm surprised... Oh, here we go. More knights being queued up in all the stables. Very good to see. They definitely need that. If there's too many cav archers, then they'll get away from them.
Absolutely.
Really nice to see Jonk and QuarkWarble just mixing in a couple of pikes with their army, just enough to make it so those knights will have a tough time engaging. They don't want to get any free hits from those pikey boys. And a little bit of a kerfuffle inside the red base. Those knights are strong. The pikes aren't quite strong enough or don't have enough numbers. And I think we've seen a little bit of a retreat somewhat from Jonk. They're not keen to go in. Those knights are just a little bit too strong. Part of that is the Teuton bonus. So they get extra armor on their knights just for free. Melee armor against those pikes. So that's really showing here, I think.
It's really interesting, you know, because Jack Harlow, historically, when he's played in tournaments before, is very cavalry heavy.
He is very cavalry heavy.
Cavalry. It's fortunate, perhaps, that he's come up against 2 opponents who've maybe not seen him play before.
That's a very good point. So, yeah, I don't think either of these 4 people at all have faced each other. I don't think Jonk has faced either Jack Harlow or David, and same can be said for Carlos QuarkWarble. So, no one really knows how they all play, and you're right in saying that Jack Harlow really does like his heavy cavalry. He likes to mass them, he likes to get as many as possible, and then he likes to steamroll with them. But it's just a matter of him getting to that late game point. And with someone managing his eco, he might be able to get there this game, and that might actually be quite hard for the Hunnic player to stop.
Absolutely, yeah.
That being said, more town centres coming up for the Huns. Nice and forward, controlling that forward stone, but also one at the very north that's going to be hard to find, especially considering the scouting information we currently see from the red player. I doubt they'll ever find that Teeth town centre, let alone the enemy base. They'll see this one on the front though, but only because that's where the army is. They are trying to run away though. I think this isn't running away. I think this is trying to loop around and try to do some damage. No, they've gone a little bit too scared. They're coming back. If they catch these pikes out in the open without the Cav Archer backup, that's probably the best engagement they could hope for. And that's going quite well. Taking a lot of free hits, sure.
Well.
But
whoever is controlling the military, you know, they're doing quite well to keep that enemy force at bay, but they've got to keep pumping out those units.
I agree, and it's the
and
keeping.
They've got to send them. They've got to send them somewhere, but they can't do that. They don't know where they're going.
Yeah, exactly. They've got to send them.
Very interesting that they've not scouted out the enemy yet.
Yeah, just spend 80 food, make a scout, send it off. You have 2 people to do it. Trying to get some villager picks on the farms. Getting 2 villagers there, just making that lead a little bit bigger. But really the lead is in the town centres now, as all those town centres very busy.
Yeah, I mean, you can see from the scores alone, you know, the economy is just absolutely booming.
Yeah.
In Jonk's team.
And this might be one of those games that's decided by the economy, I think. Both of these players manoeuvring their armies quite well, but those Cav Archer numbers are just getting up there. And there's not enough reinforcing knights. I see 4 just come out of the stables now, but they don't seem to be coming very fast or frequently.
No. And, you know, there's not really a huge amount queued up either, you know, if you click on the stables.
Yeah.
You've got stables just absolutely inactive, and then no one queued on the other stables.
Yeah, only 2 of those stables being used right now. Good engagement on the front, making those Cav Archers run. They're not getting a lot of picks going back, but more Cav Archers coming in to reinforce. In a tricky position, the red player needs to do damage to the blue player's economy, but unable to leave their base at this moment. I would like to see them wall up that wood line and just stop fighting here. As we say that, a castle coming up on the front for the Hun player. Right on the hill, it's going to be very well placed. It's going to absolutely destroy those palisade walls, and they're going to get into the economy of Jack Harlow and David Reed 002. What do we think they need to do to stop this? This is going to be very difficult to deal with, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm not even sure they can even see that castle going up. I mean, they're just encroaching so quickly, the Huns players.
That's actually so true. He hasn't spotted it at all, and this is going to come as a very unwelcome surprise, I say. They're not actually taking their own stone either, mainly because they don't have villagers to afford stone right now. They only have 59 bills. And that castle goes up, and instantly it's going to start attacking one of those palisades, I imagine. Jonk and QuarkWarble both abusing the market, selling their excess food, keeping their economies nice and balanced. And enough stone for a second castle already. 2 more stables coming up for Jack Harlow and David Reed 007, trying to get the knight number production, but they don't really have the gold economy to sustain those kind of numbers. And these cavalry archers are starting to get dangerously high in number, almost being able to one-hit a knight.
Yeah. Well, we do see that, the Teutons have jumped up to Imperial Age, which, you know, maybe there are some good upgrades there for them, but they're really got to do something with it, you know. They've got to attack.
Yeah, that was a very, very early Imperial Age, to be honest. And you can see the blue player, the Huns, they're already on their way as well. But the difference in economy right now means that early Imperial, what is it really going to do for them? They might have... Cavalier is already in. That's really good to see. Those are going to be very strong knights right now. And Jack Harlow's really trying to get his knights as strong as possible, trying to do his bread and butter. But he doesn't have the economy to back it up just yet.
But the knights are strong, and, you know, they're doing the job.
And that's really good timing for it. These Cavalier, a lot of armor on them, and if they get the right engagement, they might be able to take out these cavalry archers, even though they're in such a big number. But there's too many wood lines, there's too many walls stopping the movement, and these melee units are just getting a little bit caught up.
Absolutely.
Another...
It's just having full fronts for the Huns.
Yeah. really good control of the cavalry archer, keeping them alive as much as possible, which is really good to see. It's all about numbers when you're playing cavalry archer. You don't want to let any die for free. Imperial Age just comes in. We have another town centre for Jonk and QuarkWarble coming up on the forward gold. So they're stealing the enemy's gold right now as another fight happens on that wood line. He just needs to delete these palisades, I think, so he can actually come around the back and surround those cav archers.
Absolutely. Well, that's the thing, right? He can either go round the back, which he's not doing, and just get them unsuspectingly higher ground.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not happening. But I do see a ram just sitting in the town centre.
Yeah, they made a ram. I think they're thinking about that castle. And ironically, we were so excited about that castle going out. I was thinking it's going to give those cav archers access to the economy to raid, but he just hasn't used it yet. He's just been focusing all their pressure on the front, keeping those cavalier busy. Starting to really fall back now. I think that was the town bell. Not good to see. We don't really want to see a town bell happening. Too many villagers are going idle here, which don't have to be idle.
Maybe prematurely as well, yeah.
Yeah, just grab the front villagers, just the ones here maybe, and chuck them in the town centre. But all of these just went idle, and even this side over here on the right, the only other town centre. Desperately trying to save for Paladin.
Did you see that? We had a palisade wall solution.
Oh yeah, that's really smart. That's good to see.
Tried to get him from the back, but unfortunately it looks like maybe overwhelmed by the number.
No, that worked really well. Cavalry archers having to fall back from that. They're not actually heavy cavalry archer yet because the blue player only just got to the Imperial Age. Halberdiers coming in the front though just to save that. And those Halberdiers, they're too strong now. They're going to need a different answer than cavalry to counter those Halberdiers. And I'd like to see a tech switch into... It's going to be really hard for the Teuton player to pull off, but they need to make a university, get chemistry, and get hand cannoneers out to deal with those halberdiers. It's the only real option. They don't have good archers. And I don't know if I can see the economy affording that. Yeah. That being said, those Cavalier are taking fantastic trades against those Cavalry Archers. That's exactly what they need. They need to get those Cavalry Archer numbers down, stop them from getting too high, and there's another castle coming up on the north. Let's see if this castle is going to be more effective than the southern one, which kind of did nothing.
Yeah.
It's more of a...
It's a poorly placed castle. I mean, to me it's really obvious that, you know, everything's happening on the south of the base. Maybe the Huns should try from the north.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And that two-pronged is really going to cause damage as the town ballot is rung again and the entire economy of the Teutons stops work and they go into hide and they're not even being attacked.
I think maybe whoever is ringing the town bell is doing it perhaps prematurely.
Perhaps prematurely. They might be doing it a little early, if you will.
Yes.
Sometimes you ring it too early, and you don't have any control over that. Well, you do, but you know.
Think, well, this is the choice I've made now.
Yeah, this is the choice I've made. I'm here now. This is a really bad spot for the Teuton player to be in. Obviously, there's pressure on both sides. Trebuchets coming up, but more importantly, they don't really have a mass of heavy cavalry to keep them afloat. We're going to see trickling cavalier coming out of these stables. Not that they can afford them, but if they do make any, they'll come out one by one, and that's not an army. That's just one person going out to die every now and again. So I think we're starting to see the beginning of the end. That economy from Jonk and QuarkWarble really showing the power. They're at 228 vils. This is a full boom. And you can see the resources. They got way too many people cutting wood. 127 woodcutters. More farms, please. Too much wood is...
Why do they need so much wood?
Why do they need so much wood? And saying that, if you look on...
Everybody loves wood.
Yeah. What is it because it's so hard? I don't get it. We're seeing a very David Reed 007 endgame special now. All of the villagers coming forward to do a final hurrah, a last hurrah, yeah, a die, if you will. Yeah. These cavalry archers still not upgraded, but they really don't need to be at this point. Trebuchets taking down the town centre, and the GG is called. Wow. Well, it was a lot.
Actually, not a bad effort. Very defensive.
Yeah, very
from
defensive.
The Teutons, but held for a long time.
Held for a long time, and I think you nailed it in the beginning when you said they just need to take those cavalier. They just need to take them to the enemy base and do some eco damage. They just need to put the pressure on themselves and kind of take the front foot. And And you're so right. I think that might have been the turning point, the real crux for this game. Quite possibly, because
No.
letting that Hun player boom
Valiantly fought.
Very well fought, yeah, absolutely. And those Teuton, that's the power of the Teuton heavy cavalry. We saw them cleaning up Cav Archer time and time again. It wasn't until we had the final armor upgrade for these pike boys that we actually saw any kind of real resistance to those heavy cavalry. So they were definitely dominating the field there. Very good to see. But I'm just counting the town centres of the Hun player right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 town centres.
Wow.
So that's the kind of level you need a boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe the Teutons, they maybe, while they pulled it back, in early game they didn't scout. I think maybe that's why they held off going to muck with the other eco, because they had no idea where they were going or what they were up against.
Absolutely.
Which is foolish. Make another scout and get it out there. You need to see the map.
When you
Because
can't see the
maybe
map,
they're
you're scared,
taking one of
right?
those TCs.
It's like a mind game.
Yeah.
If you can't see your enemy, it's like, they're attacking from the darkness. They could be anywhere. They could be behind a bush. They could not be behind a bush.
Yeah.
But if you scout, you know.
And that economy as well. Unfortunately, just trying to defend, you can't forget about your economy, otherwise it's just a losing battle. And
Yeah.
they really did fall behind at the end there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Too much pressure again. A little bit slower, but definitely pressure was there. But well fought, like you say. Those heavy cavalry were definitely doing work. But we have to give this one to the huddle of Jonk and QuarkWarble, who will now consume My Girlfriend Does Science, or Jack Harlow, and David Reed 007.
Well done.
Very well done, very well done. Should we do a quick... I think they're all in the same chat, actually, for some weird reason. But should we go say hi very quickly?
Absolutely, we should go say hi.
All right.
Even though we...
Well, if it isn't the winners and the
something like
losers.
food or gold for any sort of upgrade, we had to make some more units, so needed a bit more eco, we need more TCs, but I was just flustered by that point.
Yeah, you guys had a lot of pressure right there. We're live, by the way.
Hi live.
Hi live. Those heavy cavalry, those Teuton heavy cavalry, they were doing work. That's what we want to say.
My god, they were tanky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
+2 melee armor, +1 pierce armor for free, plus blacksmith upgrades, which were all gotten to the max. Very tanky cavalier, doing work against those heavy cavalry archers. But ultimately, your eco, Jonk and QuarkWarble. How many villages did you get at the end? Do you know?
I don't even know.
Their goal was
just
200.
spamming
Yeah, 245.
Hell yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Which is
That's
the right
what
number.
TCs does for you.
Yeah. Beautiful
and
to
very
see.
well spread out TCs. They were lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice when you don't have to focus on army at all and you can just pretend like you're playing The Sims.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, doesn't it? I was just going to say, interesting fact, guys, the average effective actions per minute for the red team, for the Teutons, was 67 versus 51 for the blue team. So you guys were actually faster as a team compared to
What
the other.
counts as an effective action?
No one actually knows. It's an arbitrary number, but it's a good proxy for how
'Cause
fast you're playing.
If that's moving villages between 2 wood lines, I mean...
You had to do that a lot, obviously. Yeah, heck. But yeah, very well played. A lot of vills, 11,000 wood. So this is a stream that likes to see a lot of wood gatherers. So nice wood gathering, guys. Really OP. And you didn't even go to the center.
134
on wood.
Lumberjacks.
134 lumberjacks, correct.
Did you just do that near the end, or was that...
Oh, it was pretty heavy, to be honest, throughout the game. Their
Yeah,
villages.
what did you need so much wood for? What was the end goal?
Yeah, call them out.
The most amount of cavalry archers and trebuchets possible.
That's true.
It's a lot easier to right click the rally point onto a tree and then just like queue up 15 villages.
That's very true.
Absolutely.
Very true. So who was
and
on
those
the...
trebuchets at the end as well did a lot of work, which is cool.
Yeah, good use on the trebs as well at the end, yeah. Who was the economy? Was that you, QuarkWarble?
Yeah, that was me.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then who was running economy for you, Harry?
Me, but once he started encroaching our base and killing vills over the wall, it was a bit of a scramble.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
what were you up to, Scotch?
I was leading the cavalry.
He was doing a really good job at running the army in and making the pikes chase him and isolating the pikes, killing them, and then not having the cav archers hit him when he was killing the pikes.
We actually commented on
We
that.
needed to mix in some. We needed to mix in some infantry, and you can see we got 3 barracks up there in the end. We were starting to do it, but yeah, just a stretch of resources. We should have put down a 3rd TC, but by the time we got our 2nd TC down, there was already some aggression. So yeah, we invested a bit too much in cavalry, a little bit not enough in eco and infantry or something to take out some skirms to take out the cav archers. But
yeah, if you guys are going full tilt into skirms, like we would have had to retake everything.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, we already had the map. We knew we weren't going to win map control. We knew we weren't going to win late game eco. We thought if we could clean up like a castle with lots of knights, or then if we had to go to imp to get them a bit stronger, and hopefully just kill your big army and then start like raiding. But we didn't know that you had expanded that much because we'd quartered ourselves off.
Scouting. What happened with the scouting for Jack Harlow?
That's a very good question because you guys did not scout much.
Yeah, well, because we're going up against 2 really good players, we just had to sacrifice something to just survive. It was just survival for 34 minutes.
Well, you did
what we tried to do, make a game of it.
To be fair, you did very well. You did survive very well.
It was definitely a Battle of Thermopylae situation. It wasn't a question of do we win, it's when we lose.
Yeah. To be honest though, it's you 4 against the other finalists, which is Jamie's Huddle. And honestly, collectively, looking quite strong for that, I think.
Absolutely.
We have a shot.
Yeah, we might have a wee chat about roles and stuff, but I mean, if they can run a pretty effective 7TC eco and aggression with 2 players, mixing in another 2 players that, if given small tasks to complete well, could add something more to it, then I think will be a pretty considerable force.
All the more power.
in particular has very impressive control of units.
Yeah.
Which might be something to think about.
Having both of us pressuring the other huddle, like from 2 different angles, I think we can definitely out-micro them.
Yeah.
Totally. I think there's a case to be made for Jonk and David doing some aggressing, and QuarkWarble being the lead eco and me being a secondary.
Hey man, he's obviously got eco under control.
You can handle all my idle villages.
Yeah,
I
perfect.
can just be idle.
Or you could just make the decision to take people off wood lines.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah. Look, there was just so much wood on that map.
I can be rebalancer of eco. I can be eco assistant.
Yeah. Well, guys,
we won't give away any tactics. Well done, everyone. That was a great game.
Absolutely. Congratulations on your victory, and well done on the defense, guys, and welcome to the new huddle. And I look forward to seeing you all in the finals whenever we do those, which will be shortly at some stage. Yeah.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Cheers, guys.
GG.
All right. Well, it's just me and you, Evie.
Wonderful game to end it on.
It really was.
Very enjoyable.
There was a lot. Those heavy cav were just. It was very nice. Very nice.
It was an impressive display of defense and an impressive display of attack.
Tell you what does do, it gets me excited for the finals, which will happen this weekend, and we might try to do that live as well, considering we had basically no technical difficulties with this live. It's been absolutely fine.
Flawless. Twitch.
Yeah, straight to Twitch. Yeah, it's monetized, please. In saying that, I've been your host, Michael. This has been my wonderful co-host, Evie.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming and agreeing to do this on such short notice. But we look forward to seeing all of the viewers when we do the finals, which should be in a day or 2. But have a lovely evening, and take it easy. Any last thoughts, Evie? Any last words?
Have fun. Enjoy yourselves.
Oh, yeah, nice. Wholesome.
And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell.
Oh, good point. And send it to your mum.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.